higher education is the single greatest factor in breaking the cycle of generational poverty. It's not driven by money, but driven by purpose. Because when you go into these roles, you're pouring yourselves into the lives of these students. We're doing these things for a purpose. It's not just to have good numbers, have good stats. It's about changing lives. And so that gives you purpose in what you're doing. So I appreciate that. And it helps me get up every day and do the amazing things we do, because I know tangibly we are changing lives in what we do. And that makes a huge difference.
Welcome back to an episode here on the Hart and Hustle podcast. We have our next guest. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell us where you're from. David, tell us where your title, so people can get to know a little bit about who David is.
Hi, I'm David Barron. I'm the Vice President of Enrollment Management here at the University of Texas at Tyler.
I love it. David, I was talking to someone a little earlier. They said that I speak to some amazing people. And I'm like, I do. I actually got David coming on the podcast now. And what I love, David, the first time that we got to really chat is the energy, man, the passion that you really have for what it is that you do. How long have you been in this space?
So I've been in higher ed for 26 years. Got into it by accident, but just loving every minute of it, changing lives.
What is the thing that you love most, like that you get to do probably on the regular?
Sure. So I like to joke and tell people in my role, I just provide opportunity and money, right? The folks to achieve their educational dreams. And so that education is life transforming for them, their families. So I'm happy to be part of that.
And is it something that you've always had this passion for, like growing up, like you knew you wanted to be in this space? Is it that you just kind of landed here because you were chasing passion and purpose? How did we get here?
Sure. So by accident, I had no idea of, a role in higher education or living in enrollment management. In fact, I was a theology major and going to graduate school. My wife and I were married. Our first son was coming along, and my wife got laid off because she was pregnant. I know that's not supposed to happen, but it did. And so she was laid off. And so I needed a job with insurance. And so I graduated. I was trying to find a job, and I found one on campus that was in financial aid. And I said, well, I can do this. And so I took the job. Reality is I had no experience in financial aid. I had never filled out a FAFSA in my life. When I was an undergraduate, my parents had done that for me. And then when we got married while I was in college, my wife was an international business major. So she had much more expertise in finance and numbers. And so she completed the FAFSA every year for me. And so when I got into financial aid, that's when I learned how to complete the FAFSA. I had never done that before. So just by accident, real life, right? Needing insurance because we had a baby on the way.
What did you learn about like admissions and FAFSA as you kind of really start that job? Because I'm pretty sure you said you knew nothing, but you're learning and you're pouring back into those that did not know, like you didn't know.
Right. And so, I had taught for a couple of years while I was working on my master's, working with students and teaching students. And so it was really, with financial aid, nobody knows about it, knows how to do it, know what to do with it. So it was a matter of teaching students what they needed to do, how they needed to complete the FAFSA, how to best utilize funds, should they borrow loans, should they not borrow loans, what grants are available. So helping them remove barriers, I think, to access for those funds so that they could reach their educational goals. So that was a great time to share and to pour into the lives of the students at our university at that time.
And now in 2026, you mentioned that you guys are doing something a little different. What is it that you guys are doing to make sure that people are more aware and educated in this space?
Sure. So here at UT Tyler, we've got some amazing out-of-the-box things we're doing where we're partnering with our local ISDs through a program called College Readiness. And so this happened back right after COVID. And in East Texas, COVID lasted 6 months. So as soon as COVID was ending here in East Texas, I reached out to our high schools because at that time, the state had put a regulation in place that all high school graduates had to complete the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, prior to graduation. They put this mandate on the schools, but they didn't give them any funding or ability to do this, but they were going to hold them accountable. So I reached out to some local high schools and I said, help me help you. I want to provide you a college readiness coach, which is basically a peer mentor, someone that's in college that's going to come talk with your students about, one, how to apply to college. It doesn't have to be our college. It could be any university. We would help them apply to that college. And then help them apply for financial aid and complete the FAFSA, then help them apply for scholarships. And so we had 4 schools that piloted that with us that spring semester. And then at the end of the semester, we brought all the high school counselors together for a luncheon, and I had our college readiness coach, one of our students, speak, and then one of the high school counselors speak that had the college readiness coach. And we had some amazing tearjerker stories of students that were never planning on going to college.
Mm-hmm.
But then they talked with our college readiness coach. They decided that was something they wanted to do. Our coach helped them apply to college. They applied for scholarships, got full ride, first in their family ever to go. All the families were happy. The teachers were crying. The student was crying. It was a great experience for that. So then at the luncheon, when we shared these amazing stories of the impact, all the high schools wanted college readiness coaches. So we
Wow.
started with 4 high schools that first semester, and now we're up to 46 high schools where we have college readiness coach, making a difference in the high school students' lives.
So you're seeing admission rates go up just because you're giving some resources, a little bit of education.
Absolutely. And just providing a pathway, right? A lot of folks don't know
Yeah.
what they don't know. They don't know if they're first generation, how to get into college, how to jump those hurdles and remove the barriers that they need to be successful. And so our coaches, talking to them as peer to peer, are showing them how they can do that, helping them through it. And part because of these relationships, we're actually removing barriers for the students as well. Part of the process for college admissions is this high school student has to request their transcripts from their high school counselor to be sent to the high school. And sometimes students don't want to talk to administrators or other things. So with this relationship that we have, we're going into the high school and say, hey, Johnny, Susie, and Bill have applied and they need their transcript. And so they'll print the transcript for us and we'll take it to the university and get that taken care of for them. So just removing barriers wherever we can to help them be successful.
That's so cool, man. And what are some of the growth that you've seen just by doing some of that, like numbers wise?
So we've seen in the high schools where we've had our college readiness coaches, our applications have more than doubled at all of those institutions. This last fall was our largest enrollment in institutional history, our largest freshman class incoming. We've seen probably a 33% increase over the last
Wow.
6 years in just our freshman class coming through. So amazing numbers for us, and we're continuing to grow.
How's that young David feel, man, that just walked in for the first time knowing nothing, but here you are just really making a difference? How's that young David feel?
If you'd have told me 6 years ago that, oh, you're going to have a career in higher education, I would have laughed because I wouldn't have even known what that was. But the reality is, it's not driven by money, but driven by purpose. Because when you go into these roles, you're pouring yourselves into the lives of these students and lives of people that
Yeah.
can help them better themselves, that can help them reach their goals, achieve their dreams, and to change their whole families as getting these educational degrees. So through financial aid, through enrollment management, helping provide these opportunities, it's been really amazing to see that over the last 26 years.
David, I believe that when we talk about just growth, we don't get there alone, right? There's someone that poured into us just like you're pouring into others. What are some of those leaders, man, that poured into you? What was being poured into you? What are those, things that you remember someone saying to you that kept you
Sure.
going?
So, even when I was started out in financial aid, um, I probably wasn't the best candidate to be promoted in the eyes of many folks. But what happened was we had a summer start, right, for our students at the university. And we had a process where they filled out a paper slip and you had to turn that in, and the financial aid people had to process their aid for that term. And it was a backlog. And and we had alphabet, so I was responsible through, A through G and for student populations. And I knew I had to get some done. So I came in extra on a Saturday because if I didn't do that, the students wouldn't have their money for refund, to pay their rent, to get their books, to do those things. So I came in on a Saturday. I didn't get overtime. You didn't get paid, and started processing those. And then I saw my coworkers had piles and stacks of students that they needed to process. So I took their stack and I processed those students and I got them done. So when Monday came around, all those students were able to get their financial aid. They could pay their bill. They could start their class. And I didn't know it, but supervisors were watching me. As I did that later on, when I applied to move up, they saw the investment that I made in the other students that I got no personal gain from because I cared about the mission. I cared about the students. I wanted them to be successful. And that was one of the reasons that I got promoted pretty quickly in financial aid. And that's really been the core and crux of why I've been promoted
Wow.
and moved up across the different universities in enrollment management, because I'm student focused. I want the students to be successful. And if you're focused on the students being successful, guess what? Success comes in numbers and metrics as you
Yeah.
focus on those students being successful.
Hey, if you're getting value from this conversation, do us a favor and hit the subscribe button. We drop episodes like this regularly, and we don't want you to miss a single one. Now, let's get back to it. You are the work ethic. Can't find that kind of work ethic, right? Just going there on a day off, man, and knocking out your colleagues' work as well. But it is this thing that you do when no one is watching that makes a huge difference. And when we think no one's watching, you realize, wait, I was being watched the whole time, and people see the hard work and determination. What are you pouring into others when you talk about the young Davids coming in for the first time and just may not feel comfortable or may feel a little bit of just uneducated around some things? What are you telling that young one when they come in with the same kind of thought
So
process?
really, it's about sharing vision. Some of the jobs in enrollment management aren't always seen as fun and exciting, right? It could be just
Mhm.
processing paperwork. It could be verifications of tax information. It could be all these things where you're not seeing the outcome that your work is doing. So I make sure to um, help them see the whole vision, the impact that they're making. When we have um, results or we have good positive increases, I talk with all my staff, even on one, and share, hey, you may be in processing, but here's what you're doing. Here are the
Yeah.
students you're making an impact on. Here are the lives that you're changing because you're faithful in what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And in selling that mission, helping the folks understand that what they're doing is making an impact down the road helps them to feel value in what they're doing and buy in to the process of helping the students be successful.
You, I just love all your answers. You could tell you just love what you do. How is communication within the school? Like, do you feel like, I feel a lot of times you talked about, and we're both talking about it, just people, the lack of knowledge, the lack of knowing something goes down to communication. How are higher eds communicating, even with kids that are in the school already, or they're trying to get kids into the school? Is it email? Is it, you talked about boots on the ground? Like, how's things getting out there?
Well, I think Efren, just like your program here, it's about channels, right?
Hmm.
What channels are they watching? What channels are they listening to? And so it's about meeting the students where they are. A lot, higher education as a industry is a little slow to change.
Okay.
It's a big ship. It's hard to steer and turn quickly. But for students, you've got to be able to move nimbly. You've got to meet them where they are, help them be successful. I had just an example the other day, a parent that was talking about their student, and they were looking up universities and says, "Can you Google so and so?" I said, "Oh, I don't Google. I chat." I said, "What?" I
Okay.
said, "You don't use Google anymore. You just tell Chat GPT, and they give you all the information on the university." So that's a whole nother venue just recently for universities that have to make sure they have the answer engine optimization so that
Yeah.
their school is pulling up based on going through an AI or going through a chatbot or a chat process, either
Yeah.
ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, whatever that AI engine may be, to make sure that they're showing at the top. So it's very crucial to meet students where they are. And there is AI and there is a lot of emphasis on that moving forward. But really, for results and commitment, it's about personal connection, right?
Love
It's
it.
about reaching notes. You would be surprised if a student gets a handwritten note, what that means to them, because
Hmm.
they maybe have never gotten one before in their lives. And
When
so
you said ChatGPT, are you a user of it? Are you using AI? What is your thoughts on AI?
I do. I'm a proponent of AI, and I've actually spoken at several conferences regarding it. But Microsoft Copilot is my AI of choice right now
Yeah, go to.
that
Okay.
I'm using. But I use it, not to get technical, but I compile a large language model of my information, and it's not public, but it's a private. So I
Yeah.
can research my own documents, my own presentations, my own things, and pull out other information, especially with metrics, because I do a lot with metric
Numbers and
projections as
projections.
well,
Yeah.
predictive analytics, and helping with my work as well.
I'm glad you're using it, man. Believe it or not, I think I told you when we spoke is that high schools are not using it here in Orange County in Florida, because for whatever reason, I guess. But I think to myself, like, they're going to colleges, right? I guess, are you guys have classes around AI?
So we're trying to integrate AI into the classes rather than just have it on AI, because AI is a tool. I mean, I look back because I'm old enough here to say, oh, I remember when the computer came out, and folks were thought, oh, you can't use that in the rooms, or you can't use that in classes. That's cheating. No, it's not. It's a tool. right? The same thing with AI. It's a tool, and so you need to be taught how to use it and apply that within the courses themselves. And so we're looking at doing that in the curriculum.
You said the computers and you wanted to go to old school. I can't find it somewhere in this room, but a floppy disk. I still have a
Yeah.
floppy disk from when I was probably like in fifth grade because back in the days you had to provide and turn in a floppy disk with your work. And I think, man, how times have changed that we are talking to a ChatGPT or a Claude. Actually, I was at brunch yesterday with my brother. My brother just now is starting to learn ChatGPT and AI, and he's just there having a blast at Cheesecake Factory, like designing things. Like he's like picturing, took a picture of my niece. He's messing with her and putting things all over her. But he's like, man, do you know ChatGPT? Watch, I'm asking a question. I'm like, man, you're so behind, right? But there's still people that are not with time. So I'm glad to hear that at least your college, your university, that you guys are actually implementing AI because it to me is what's already here and what the future looks like. And somebody jokingly says, "Hey, one day you're going to have a job description or a job title called prompt engineer."
Yeah.
And I said, "You know what? That is correct." Because in order for you to get good data out of something like that, you have to be able to really give it a good prompt, right? So, man, to know that you're in there and then you worked around your system, you're creating that kind of structure and system for you. You're doing your thing now, man. Now I see why you're so good at what you do.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's important. And so really it's about how we implement it. I know it's tough at high schools right now and at other universities because the guardrails aren't there yet, right? For
Mhm.
some of these technologies and what it's going to produce. But, you have to use it and you have to use it in the right way, but there's lots of benefit that can be had.
So communication. Okay, so you got communication down packed, all different channels. What else you feel is some of the pain points you've seen universities kind of deal with that you guys have kind of really been innovated and knocked it out the park already?
Well, we talked a little bit about enrollment, and there's this enrollment cliff, right? That's due to changing birth rates throughout the U.S. Certain segments of the U.S., a lot of the U.S. is losing a number of students who are going to graduate and be eligible for college. And so, what I've seen, in the past 10 years, is some schools just double down on the same thing that they've been doing, trying to, do the same recruitment, do the same things to get the students, and that's just not going to cut it, because you have to change direction. You have to be
Yeah.
sensitive to what's happening so that you can get the students you need to get and compete in the market. So for us, after COVID or really during COVID, that's where we started the college readiness and doubling down on our community partnerships, right, with our local ISDs, even with our community colleges here for transfer students, working with them to help the students be successful. And when I say partnership, it's a partnership, right? We're giving to help their students be successful, not just recruiting students. And so investing in those students through pathways, through funding, through articulation agreements to help them be successful. So we've invested in those schools with the college readiness coaches. We've invested in community colleges with articulation pathways. Now we're even looking at 3-year degrees, right, to get students in and out quicker so they can earn their educational goals. So there's lots of things to do, but you can't just communicate via email and by names anymore. You have to have
Yeah.
a firm foundation and pathway for those students to move forward into your university.
I love that. Two things I want to talk about. It's funny because earlier you mentioned COVID only being 6 months. I'm in Florida, so I don't even know that we ever shut down. We were just open all the time. Like, I don't know I'm still that guy still going to the gym. Okay, when COVID put my face mask on, but yeah, Florida and Texas got a lot of heat for during those times. But ISD, you mentioned ISD. For those that may not know what ISD is, can you kind of break down those
Sure.
acronyms?
So in Texas, we're independent. So those are independent school districts. So those are the high school, basically. So there
Got
may
it.
be
Got it.
for Tyler, Texas, there's the Tyler ISD. For Lindale, Texas, there's the Lindale ISD. So those are the
Copy.
school districts for the local areas.
Got it. Got it. You born and raised in Texas?
No, born and raised in Georgia. Yeah.
Oh, what got you to just school or the job opportunity got you to Texas? What got you to
The job
Texas?
opportunity. So I grew up in Georgia, and then I moved to Oklahoma, where I went to college and met my wife, and started in higher ed in Oklahoma, and then went to Columbus, Ohio, where my wife was from for a while, and with her family, and
Wow.
then moved back to Oklahoma and worked for Oklahoma State, the Center for Health Sciences, the medical school there. And then from Oklahoma State, went to Rogers State University, which is part of the University of Oklahoma system in Claremore, Oklahoma, and was started an enrollment management career there, and then went from there to Augusta University, part of the
Mhm.
University of Georgia system, and then here at the University of Texas at Tyler for the University of Texas system. And with those last three universities, I had the opportunity to be over enrollment management. And I'm proud to say that I was able to lead all three of those to their highest enrollments in institutional history. But not just highest enrollments, but also the highest in academic quality, as well as diversity in all three of those schools and those three different systems.
Hell yeah. So you're the man, huh?
Well,
When it
I've been
comes to higher
blessed.
ed.
I've been blessed.
Give us the day to day. What does it look like in your role?
Sure. So you never know what's going to happen day to day, but a lot of it is working through opportunities and challenges to help students be successful, whether that be working
Mhm.
with donors, whether it be working with curriculum changes, whether that be working with changes with the Department of Education and funding models, um, and working with our process, coming up with new and innovative ways, right, to service our students. One thing that we're doing next week, and this is our third year of doing this, is what we call early enrollment. So we've been working with these students through our college readiness in these high schools. Well, we're going to take the university to them. So we're bringing our advisors, we're bringing our enrollment folks, and we're going into the high schools for those that are ready to enroll, and we're advising them and enrolling them in college for the next fall start, so they can get ahead of the
Wow.
game, get their courses online, and that they're ready to go, and helping them with their financial aid. So we're going to go to them and help them get registered for classes rather than just say, oh, you need to go to this university you've never been to, wander through the halls and find where you need to go. No, we're going to bring the experts to you and help you be successful. So we're doing that in several different schools next week. It's a road show to help those students get enrolled and registered for classes.
You guys are ahead of the game for real. And what kind of programs do people like normally don't know your school have? And when they find out, they're like, oh, wow, I didn't know even this existed.
Well, we have a brand new, I say new as in last 3 years, medical school. So we have an MD program
Okay.
that's just started here in Tyler, which is amazing. We're really blessed to have that. We have an amazing nursing program with some of the highest pass rates in the state of Texas for our nursing. We have engineering, but not just engineering, every class of engineering, whether that be electrical, mechanical, chemical, all of those different pieces, even manufacturing engineering as well. For our engineering, we have an amazing College of Business, amazing pass rate for our accountancy program.
Mhm.
So we're really blessed with all those areas. And we have arts and sciences. So we have art program, we have music programs, we have lots of different things. We have our own, for this area, we have the Cowan Center, which is the biggest event location here,
Okay.
to have venues, performances, all of that as well. So we're really blessed to have a lot of great facilities and great programs here on campus.
Oh, yeah, man, it's a lot of different things. And what's next for you, man? Like, I can imagine that you're already working on the next thing because you're so innovative. What is this next thing that you're looking toward to, whether it's position, whether it's opportunity, technology? What is that next thing?
So we are implementing several different things. So one thing that we're implementing right now is through our CRM Slate, we're implementing a current student portal. So what we're doing is we have all these different systems, right, where students register for housing, or they see the current events on campus, or they have their class management system, a learning management system, Canvas or Blackboard, or things where they go and log in for their classes. But they have them everywhere, right? You have to know what the URL is. You have to go to the site. So we're bringing a current instance portal to have everything in one place. The student can just log in, they can check their classes, they can check their balance, they can check their aid, all right there in one piece. So that's a big technological advance for the institution that we're implementing now. That's going to help us with one, student access, two, for us to track all the students being successful and make sure they're on task to do the things they need to do. So this is going to be an amazing thing for our students as well. So that's a technology piece. But we're also navigating the changes in federal student aid. That's
Yeah.
a big thing that's coming up for all the universities coming up, based on changes in loans, Pell Grant, things of that nature as well, to make sure that our students are sustained and supported as we move forward. We're also looking at some amazing changes on campus. Our president has an innovative plan to bring in more housing, to redesign the campus entrance, to do some amazing things for the university, help us move forward as a university as well. So all those exciting things are coming to campus. So I'm happy to be part of that.
Yeah, man, that is some amazing thing, especially to be able to communicate with them so easy, right? Like them to tap in. So is this like a portal they just have to log in on the website, or is it something they be able to do their phones, or what does that look like?
Oh yeah, they can do it phone, they can do it website, they can do it tablet, however you want to log in. But that'll get you behind the sign-in wall, so you'll have
Mm,
access to everything to do things securely, whether it be your finances as well, but to view all that and to get through the process. So it's
love
going to
it.
be a big help for our students that haven't had that opportunity in the past.
I want you, David, to speak to me as if I was this young Ephraim and I'm trying to enroll myself in school and I just don't know where to start. For those that are listening, and sometimes actually, let's go back. It doesn't have to be this young Ephraim. Maybe I'm Ephraim, 36 years old. I want to get into school. What does that look like?
Sure. Well, first, I would just instill in you the importance of higher education, right? Higher education is the single greatest factor in breaking the cycle of generational poverty. It is. And so when you have someone that you've brought up and you've allowed the opportunity to earn their degree, to go out and get a job, you're not only changing their lives, you're changing the lives of their families, of their children, and their children to come because they see this opportunity to participate in higher education, to better themselves, to earn a better wage, and to give back to society. So the ripple effect of a college degree is amazing, and it's very easy to see and shown in data and facts. The income potential with a higher ed degree is $1 million more a year at least, not a year, but in your lifetime, than if you don't get a college degree. So it's a very impactful degree, and it's something that no one can ever take from you. Once you
True.
learn that information, once you have that education, once you have that degree, it is yours forever. And so that's an impactful change. And so the importance of the higher ed degree, I think, is very needed to understand by folks and for pursuing that degree, but also is providing that opportunity. So if I was talking to a young student, I would say, hey, guess what? We have some amazing programs that can help you pay for this because it's not just about access, it's about opportunity. If you don't have aid to help cover charges, then that's not access.
Yeah.
And so for UC Tyler, we have an amazing Patriot Promise program. If your family makes less than $100,000 a year in income, that means you, as a Texas resident, will qualify for tuition and mandatory fees being covered at the University of Texas at Tyler. So
Oh,
there are some amazing scholarship opportunities, and that's just ours, our scholarship. There's Pell Grant, there's Texas Grant, there's other funds available, there's academic merit scholarships. So there's lots of opportunity. It's about exposing students to all the different ways that they can help pay for their education, and then also share, again, through our peer mentors, the amazing time that you can have in higher
hmm,
education. I mean, let's face it, I'm a testimony. That's where I met my wife, right? It was in
yeah,
college. And my
yeah.
wife was transformed because of the amazing woman that she is and how she's helped us and supported us over the years.
Because of college. Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, do you by chance, I don't know if you guys have these stats, but like, what is the admission rate or the enrollment rate for someone that is not coming out of college and maybe 25 and over and want to just get that education for the first
Sure.
time?
So for us, it's a little less than maybe up 45% are transfer students that we bring
Okay.
into the university. So there's quite a few that come back. Another program that we're doing, we're working with um, adult folks, adults usually that are what we call teacher aide or
Hmm.
paraprofessionals in the schools, right? And helping them get back, get through college so that they can be a teacher in those schools and providing access and funds and opportunity for them to do that with online classes or night classes so they can still work full time and do that as well. But so usually if it's an adult coming back, they have a good success rate because they're focused on achieving that goal. And
Mm,
they,
okay.
while they're working and they're busy, they may have little fewer distractions than a teenager that's coming out of school.
Yeah, yeah. I am that guy that has to start to look into it. So I'm asking all these questions because there's people out there that says, "Man, am I too old?" Or "This could be difficult," or "It was challenging back then. Is it still the same?" So I love that we were able to really gather some more information on how easy it has become. You mentioned leaving money on the table. People always say, "Man, all this money that people are not tapping into," but it's because they don't know. And I love that you guys have become that. the educators around it, right? Letting you know where the resources at and how to get those resources and help you sign up for those resources. That is huge. A lot of people just need to be kind of held by the hand, and you guys are doing that perfectly, allowing people to just see. Is graduation rates also going up? Like, what does that look like for you guys?
Yeah, it is. So we're getting better retention, better graduation
Hell yeah.
because of the programs that we're doing. So it's really amazing to see the transformation. I talked about this in different interviews and stuff, but when I got here 6 years ago, we were struggling a little bit in some of these areas, and so we sort of turned that around. And so for East Texas, we have transitioned from a second choice institution to a first choice institution for students for East Texas, and that has changed quite a bit. And we're moving forward with great pace, and we're excited about the future.
So good. David, we could continue talking about what you guys are doing over there, but for people that want to know, tap into the social medias, look at a website. What is the website they can go to? Are you guys on social media? Things like that.
So for UT Tyler is uttyler.edu is the our website, and so we have different things. We're also on Amazon's college tour, so that is on our website. But you can Google UT Tyler Amazon College Tour, and that gives you a great insight to all the different programs. Beautiful campus that we have here in East Texas. East Texas a little bit different than the rest of Texas. We are green and have trees, so more like Georgia, I think, than the rest of Texas. We have a lot of trees and piney woods, they call us in East Texas. But a beautiful campus. We have ponds, lakes, really beautiful site to see, and some amazing athletic programs. So the Amazon College Tour is a great display, I think, of what we have here at UT Tyler.
I've never heard that. So this is Amazon partnering with schools and physically creating like that walk through tour.
Even more, they have a host that does them and interview students, interview the president, go across campus, talk to folks in programs. It's pretty amazing.
Wow. You said I can find this on your website?
You can, yep. In fact, yep, it's easy enough to find. Just do UT Tyler.
Let's see. Let's see. I love it. I love that we're doing this lifetime here because I've never heard of this. This is how innovation right here.
Yep, you just type it in. It'll tell you UT Tyler, the college tour, full episode. It's on YouTube. It's
Wow.
all
Like,
out there.
okay. I'm gonna look it up right. I'm typing it in now. So wow, that's so cool. Um, it goes back to, oh, I see it. Yeah, the college tour is an Amazon Prime series hosted by Alex. But wow, look at this. Learn something new every day. This is why I got to talk to people. We got to educate ourselves. This is actually really, really cool, man. I really appreciate your time. I love what you've done just in the space of not just for UT Tyler, but just other colleges and universities throughout the country. And I can imagine that, if you feel accomplished here, you might say, you know what, let's go do another challenge. Because I think you just love challenges. Is that correct? Or you just been a competitive person your whole life, or
Yeah,
what's up with
well,
all these challenges?
my new provost came in and she had us do what they call Clifton Strengths. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but they
Yeah.
assessment. It's like, yeah, I'm competitive. That's the
I'm about to say you seem very competitive. That's why you're like, I'm here. Let's see what's done. Okay, let's make this even better.
Yeah,
Because you've done
and,
that
and
time and time
really it's
again.
about the goal, right? So we're doing these things for a purpose. It's not just to have good numbers, have good stats. It's about changing lives. And so that
Yeah.
gives you purpose in what you're doing. And so I appreciate that. And it helps me get up every day and do the amazing things we do because I know tangibly we are changing lives in what we do. And that makes a huge difference.
I always say it's not about us, man. It's about the next generation. David, you're definitely pouring into them. We appreciate you. Are you on LinkedIn as well, David?
I am.
All right, so we can check you out on LinkedIn as well. Same name, right? David Barron.
It's D. Barron Higher Ed.
D Barron Hired. If you guys want to check him out on LinkedIn as well, I'm pretty sure you're open to questions or anything like that through LinkedIn. You guys can obviously check out their website and find out more information about how you can get enrolled, or just if you need just information, there's websites. We talked about the Amazon, so you can take that tour. David, we appreciate you. Any last message for those that are watching?
You know, I think it's important that you have dreams and that you follow those dreams and look for people that are going to help you be successful. In my job, in my life, I want to help people be successful. And I think if you surround yourselves with those folks, there's nothing you can't do. And so college education is a big piece of that. And I'm glad to be part of that mission.
Love it. Thank you, David. My name is Efrain. This is David. Make sure you guys go like, subscribe, and comment to see more great conversations like this. Until next time, laters.
Thank you.